Dear Call of Duty Black Ops, it's funny. Every year a new Call of Duty releases, and every year we're told it's bigger, better, and the future of the franchise. And yet somehow, 16 years later, I'm sitting here writing a letter to you instead. Honestly, I think that says everything. I still remember the first time I played you, and I remember hearing that menu music, and I remember wondering if this game could really live up to all the hype. And for me, it didn't just live up to it. It became one of my favorite video games of all time. Whether it was spending hours playing zombies with my friends, replaying the campaign because I couldn't get enough of the story, or jumping back in years later on my PS5, you've always had a way of pulling me back. And today, I just wanted to say, thank you. You gave me one of the greatest campaigns Call of Duty has ever created. Everyone has had their own rankings, but for me, you're easily in the top 3. What made you different wasn't just the explosions or the action. It was the story you told. You took one of the most fascinating periods in history, the Cold War, and somehow made me want to learn more about it. You introduced the likes of MK Ultra and brainwashing in a way that made every mission feel like a mystery instead of just another military shooter. Then you did something almost no game has ever made me do. You made me immediately play the campaign all over again. Not because I wanted another trophy, or because I missed a collectible. It's because I knew I missed something. Every strange line of dialogue, every strange hook, every hint that Mason wasn't seeing the world the same way everyone else was. The second playthrough didn't just feel different. It felt like I was finally seeing the truth. Then, there were the people you introduced to me. Alex Mason, Frank Woods, Jason Hudson, Joseph Bowman, and Gregory Weaver. These weren't just characters filling out a roster. They felt like people I'd known for years. When Bowman died, I cried. And then when Woods sacrificed himself, I completely lost it. And I thought we all lost him too. Watching two brothers fall during the same mission wasn't something a 10-year-old me was ready for. You made me care, and that's why 16 years later, I still remember every single one of them. But if I'm being honest, there was one person who stood above everyone else. I want everyone watching this video to do something. Close your eyes. Think about Black Ops. Who was the first person you pictured?
Reznov!
That's because you made him unforgettable. For those who came from World at War, he already felt like family. For players who started with Black Ops, you somehow made us trust him anyway. Gary Oldman's performance was incredible, but the writers deserve just as much credit. Every word Reznov spoke sounded like it came from someone who lived through and experienced war.
Can you trust your leaders to destroy it? Or do you think they will use it? The flag may be different, but the methods are the same.
He wasn't just another supporting character. He became the heart of Black Ops, and very few games ever create a character like that. Then there were the missions. Flying the SR-71 Blackbird while guiding Hudson and Weaver through the blizzard, watching the camera zoom from the sky and straight back into the action, sneaking through the snow, avoiding patrols, then suddenly finding yourself in the middle of an intense firefight. You constantly found new ways to surprise me. Even the little details mattered, like hiding the thunder gun inside the campaign. It reminded me of discovering the ray gun in World at War's campaign. You rewarded players who paid attention. You rewarded curiosity, and I absolutely loved that. Now, I do have one regret. I never got to experience your multiplayer during your true golden years. I missed packed lobbies. I missed the excitement everyone talked about. And honestly, I wish I had been there. Because even looking back now, your progression system was brilliant. Earning COD points after every match, deciding whether to spend them or risk everything in wager matches. Every match felt like it meant something. I know the PS5 version had to remove the gambling aspect of wager matches, and I understand that. But I still wish I could have experienced your multiplayer exactly the way everyone else did, even though I missed your peak. I still appreciate everything you brought to the series, but let's be honest, when most people think about Black Ops, they're thinking about zombies. And honestly, so am I. You gave us maps Kino der Toten, 5, Ascension, Call of the Dead, Shangri-La, Moon. And when you released Resurrection, and somehow even made things better by bringing back every World at War Zombies map, suddenly we were using Black Ops weapons in Nacht, Verrückt, Shino, and Der Riese. It was the best of both worlds. But the maps aren't what I remember the most. I remember the people. Staying up until 2 in the morning telling ourselves just one more game. Trying to beat our highest round. Watching someone finally get the ray gun. Then watching that same person accidentally down themselves 10 minutes later because they forgot to buy PhD like an idiot. Laughing so hard, nobody could concentrate while zombies closed in around us. There weren't 50 perks. There weren't specialists. There weren't complicated Easter eggs that required a guide to open on a second monitor. It was simple, it was chaotic, and somehow, it was perfect. That's what I miss the most. Not just the game, but the memories, the friendships, the nights where one more game somehow became 4 more hours. Black Ops. You remind me that great games aren't remembered because they had the biggest maps or the best graphics. They're remembered because of how they made us feel. Because of the people we experienced them with. Because years later, all it takes is hearing that menu music. And suddenly, we're teenagers again. Today, thanks to your PS5 release, I've been playing you all over again. And you know what? You're still just as fun as I remembered. And that doesn't happen very often. One day, someone's going to play you for the very first time. They'll never know what midnight launches felt like. They'll never know what it was like loading into Kino with friends after school. They'll never understand why hearing Reznov's voice still gives so many of us chills. But that's okay, because we do. And that's why you'll never really disappear. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for one of the greatest campaigns Call of Duty has ever made. Thank you for introducing me to characters I'll never forget. Thank you for every late night zombie session. And thank you for the memory you've given me and for reminding me that sometimes the best games aren't just games. They're chapters in our lives. And no matter how many new Call of Duty games are released, you'll always have a place on my PlayStation. Thank you. Sincerely, Panther.
My father was a musician in Stalingrad. During the German occupation, the sound of his violin filled the air with magnificent music. Korsakov, Stasov, many of the great nationalist composers. To my countrymen, it was a symbol of hope. To the Germans, it was a symbol of defiance. Even now, his music still haunts me. The Nazis slit his throat while he slept. Collaborating with any Nazi is a betrayal against all of Mother Russia. Dragovich, Khrushchenko were not troubled by such matters. They look only to advance their own interests and agendas.